Hey everybody, welcome to the fourth episode of Chat and Games. I am your host, Melvin Rodriguez. I am joined by the sexy boys in the Nintendo world, Matthew Howard. How you doing, bud?
It gets more egregious every time. The Nintendo world, the entire Nintendo world.
Yeah, like have you heard anybody that sounds better than you in the Nintendo world? Let's be honest here.
I mean, we have just been playing Three Houses, and man, that narration.
I'm telling you, that's the same.
I mentioned it last time already, but damn.
That Gerald. No, don't get me wrong. Like every time that he speaks, he like warms my soul. But that's the same with you, bud. That's the same with you. And everybody else. Everybody listens to the podcast because of your voice. Let me tell you that much. Not because of me. Anyhow. By the way, that's the same voice actor for... I think I told you this. Oh my god. What's his
Jiraiya.
name? Jiraiya, thank you. Jiraiya from Naruto.
And also Kenpachi.
Kenpachi? No.
Yeah, from Bleach.
Actually, now that you say it, yeah. But he sounds a lot more angry when he's...
Yeah, he's doing a bit of a different voice, but yeah, same actor.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, chat. So this is a Nintendo podcast that we run every single week. We are 4 weeks in a row. That's awesome. No struggles yet. But yeah, so it's a Nintendo podcast. We have a theme every single week. For the last little while, it's just been Fire Emblem because, well, it's a great game, and there's been a lot of talks about it. And it's a long game.
And there's nothing else out at the moment.
Okay.
We're waiting on more games.
Part of it is that, but also because it's a long game. I haven't even made it to the time split yet, and I have played 22 hours of this game.
Which chapter are you up to, Melvin? Just so
everybody's aware. I'm in chapter
8. I know
8.
what I can... Sorry, what was that?
Chapter 8.
Okay.
Yes. So
I think I know what that is.
So the chapter is... I'm trying to remember. They want me to investigate a plague that's happening.
Go to a village.
Yeah. That is
with your dad.
Near the kingdom. I'm finally going with my dad. That's awesome.
It's not, because he's a kill stealer.
Okay.
Takes my precious EXP.
The EXP and the relationship too. That's awesome. Anyway, chat. So for just as you who are just joining us, again, Nintendo podcast, but we break down the podcast into different sections, but depending on the topic that we're gonna be talking about. The first topic for this week is gonna be our updated impressions in Fire Emblem. We're gonna be discussing, since me and Matt chose the same house in Three Houses, gonna just discuss a little bit of how our paths kind of diverge at the moment, because you can make different decisions, you can recruit different people, you can class different people in different ways. The next topic, though, that's the only Fire Emblem topic that we have for this week, because I didn't get to the time skip, so we're not going to be talking about that. The stories for the time skip story, that's probably going to be next week. But the other topic that we have for you this week is we wanted just to broaden our view and just talk about our methods for picking games to play in between big releases. So, like right now, there's Fire Emblem, and the next big release, what's the game from Rare? Or not from Rare, from Platinum?
Astral Chain.
So that's the next one that is coming up, and then there is a big gap. Thankfully, Fire Emblem is a long game, so it's probably gonna, at least for me, it's gonna take me until that game comes out. I don't know about you, Matt. You might probably beat it beforehand. But that's one of the topics that we're going to be discussing. And the last but not least topic is the discussion about replayability, and like what do we look for in a game that makes us want to go back and replay the particular game. And if we have time, Nintendo blessed us today with some news about Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's a small clip, but there's a few things in there that we might want to discuss. Okay, so let's get started with the first topic, Matt. Tell me a little bit about your journey through Fire Emblem, at least without spoiling the story-heavy part.
Yeah, oh boy. So I'm up to the prep phase for Chapter 17.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm quite a bit further than Melvin.
Yeah.
I'm kind of coming up on the home stretch. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm still enjoying it a lot. I have maxed out my professor level, so I do notice that things have kind of slowed down for me in terms of what I can really accomplish in the monastery and whatnot.
What about can you can still go and do the monastery missions after the time skip, right?
Yeah, it's changed a bit, but by and large you can do a lot of the same stuff. But it's like now there's not as much benefit for me to do it because I've sort of maxed out a bunch of my personal stats and stuff. So
no, it makes sense. Now, because for me, since I'm getting up to the time skip real quickly here, I mean, I think in the 8th chapter, I think there's 12, and you told me that between 11 and 12, I should not be expecting much growth because there's only like a week.
Yeah.
So I when you told me that, I got scared. I was like, okay, I gotta get all my things ready because I'm making an experiment, and I will tell you what the experiment is about. I am trying to recruit every single lady from all the other houses first.
Oh.
And you know why I'm doing that? Okay, it's not because there's nothing weird about it, Chad. Right? No, don't be.
Just wait until Miss Funny Games hears about this.
She's not here right now. I should have sent her a message, making a lot of noises. But yeah, I recruited a lot of the like trying to recruit all the girls, and specifically because I want to see if they added a little detail with the girl chaser, because I was surprised when you told me that if you were the girl teacher, he would join your house right away.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there's actually a hidden detail there where if you recruit every single girl, he's not gonna have anybody to chase unless he joins your house. That's my. I know it's a long shot, and that's probably.
I'll be surprised if that.
Yeah.
Comes to pass.
But in my personal adventure through Fire Emblem, I think that is a great plan. So that's essentially what I've been doing for the last little while. I recruited Dorothea. So for those of you who don't know from the previous podcast, we are both in the Golden Deer house. So for me, I recruited Dorothea. I don't know where she's from. I think she's Black Eagles, right?
Yep, she's Black Eagles.
Yeah, so that was the first one that I recruited. Then I got Petra. Oh, I'm beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful,
do you want to pull up the image? I think you have an image of them.
Gosh, I forgot. There we go. Yeah, so I got Petra. Petra is the one on the left for you people that are watching this on video. For you audio listeners, again, there will be a link where you can see all the pictures that we're talking about in the podcast. But yeah, so I recruited her, and I'm in the process of trying to recruit Ingrid, but she's being so stubborn, Matt. Like,
Ingrid was the first one I recruited, actually.
How did you even do that? She asked for Dex and flying. I do not know where to get flying.
Flying, you have to go specifically to the professors who can teach it to you while you're running around the monastery and get like the personal lessons.
That's what I've been trying to do. Well, technically, personal lessons, you just talk to them and your level just increases. Or is that something else?
Well, it uses like some of your because you can only do so many activities in the monastery, right?
Yeah, that's
so if you receive training from the professors, it costs one of those.
Oh no, yeah, I mean but I only found either one or two that do flying.
Yeah, it's the same for like armor. There's only 2 professors that teach that, and it takes a long time to boost. So what you basically have to do is get them up to B support, and that'll reduce the requirements that you need to recruit them. But you will still need I think a D rank in flying.
Okay, a D rank. Oh gosh, that's still. I think I'm close to that. In terms of B, being a B relationship status, or what do you call B support?
Yeah, just drown them with gifts.
Oh my gosh, I've been planting so many flowers that I don't know. I don't even know. The lady at the garden is probably saying like, "Oh come on, can you plant something else?" I've just been planting flowers because again, I'm just trying to get these people to like me, so they join the house. So
speaking of differences, I guess I can say my sort of reasons for recruiting people is I wanted to recruit the people who could support Claude, because I figured I can't get Claude on another route, so if I want all his supports, I gotta make sure I get everyone. Yeah. So students-wise, that was like Ingrid, Annette, and who was the last one? Petra, yeah. So I got all them. How did
you say Petra last? How dare you? Anyway, keep going.
I got all them. I got Ferdinand because I just really enjoyed what little I saw of his character.
Okay.
And then I picked up Felix, Bernadetta, and Dorothea just because I happened to be close to the requirements for the 3 of them.
Okay.
And that
what is Felix like? What do you know? Do you remember?
What do you mean? What is Felix like? Oh, he likes swords and speed.
Okay, well those are easy.
Yeah, swords you kind of get by default, and
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also got all the church people and knights except for Gilbert.
Oh, okay. I see. Gilbert is the kind of older.
Yeah, the
has
one
a
with
giant
the
shield.
orange hair. Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. I think that he's related to what's her face? Annette somehow. Well, he doesn't want to tell us, but that's another one that is being really stubborn. Annette.
Oh yeah, and it took me a long time too, even though I was actually focusing on magic for my avatar. So I guess we can talk a bit about what we did with our units. Okay. What's your avatar look like?
Oh, my avatar is just default. I didn't try to make it anything better. So
you're just the sword guy.
I admire my dad so much in that video game that I want to be a mercenary just like him. You know what I mean? So,
I thought I'd make my guy a healer because he cares about his students. He wants to make sure that they're all doing okay, that they're not getting killed on the battlefield.
Makes sense. The problem with the healer part, okay, I'm gonna tell you a side effect of trying to recruit all the ladies.
Oh yeah?
The majority of the ladies are either healer or magic.
Yes, they are.
Which is a little bit of an issue when you have a diverse group of people.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
I found I haven't really used the characters I recruited all that much.
Oh, really?
I mostly stick to my core 8. And then I have like sort of 1 or 2 slots depending on the map where I can throw in an extra unit.
I see. No, for me, I kind of want to have them all at around the same level. So that's why I've been like trying to get a few.
Trying to swap them out and stuff.
Yeah. And I didn't know that you could recruit the professors and the little kids running around as well.
Oh yeah.
So when I recruited them, I'm like, okay, now I have way too many people in here. Now I have to be picky, like a little bit picky. I'm gonna focus on students, Manuela and what's his name? He-Man or something.
Heinemann,
thank you.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. They went past. They're past their prime. They're level 15 somehow. Like
yeah, the professors are so strong though relative to the level you get them at.
True.
And like, what's her name? Catherine is ridiculously strong. Shamir.
Oh, okay. So, but those are knights. Those make sense.
Yeah.
Compared to like these young bucks that are just trying to go to school, make a life for themselves. In terms of so everybody has like their preset or their default area that they want to improve on.
Yeah.
Like Petra, for example, she's like axes and swords and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and there's a bit of variation. Like Petra is also really good at flying, so she can be a Pegasus class pretty easily.
Yeah. Have you been trying to stick to that, or have you gone around and tried to make somebody really wild, like completely what you wouldn't want to? Like,
yeah, I think I might have mentioned it before, but my one project I was working on that was just really nonsense was making Mariana Swordmaster. So they're the healer by default. And that's really what they want to focus on. So I made them a purely physical attack class.
A unit.
And they were pretty awful at it for a long time. But eventually they got a certain combat art that let them stack their resistance on their attack. Which
she has pretty high resistance.
Yeah, they actually could do a lot of damage with that. They still weren't great by any means, but what made it all worth it was eventually I unlocked their paralog. And the special weapon you get from that is a sword.
Oh.
And I was like, yes!
That works perfectly.
This has made it all worthwhile.
I mean, you could have given the sword to somebody else.
I could have, but it's more fitting, I feel.
I guess.
Give it to the relevant character.
Do you know what decides when those paralog missions are actually coming through? I've been doing a few of them, but I haven't even gotten the one for her yet.
Yeah, hers only shows up after the time skip.
I see. Okay, so some of them are different.
It's basically just, as far as I can tell, it's like units you have recruited and they'll show up at just a certain point in time.
Oh, okay.
So pre-time skip, you can do the paralog as long as you've recruited at least one unit that participates.
Okay.
And then post-time skip, if there's any paralogs that have two, you'll obviously have to have both of them.
For sure. I seen even before time skip, you need to have two people for some of the prologue.
Yeah,
missions.
but like I was able to do the Ingrid Dorothea paralog when I only had Ingrid.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Or there's like a Flayn and Sedith one, which you can do if with just Flayn.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
So,
by the way, chat, if you don't know anything about the characters or anything that we're talking about, again, I will post the wiki below to see all the different characters. We're trying to say like they're the default healer, where he's the default X, just to make sure that you are in
sometimes
the
we'll
page.
forget to give context though.
Yes, exactly.
But so word of advice: if you want to do Petra's paralog, make sure you recruit Bernadetta.
I already have her. Don't worry.
Okay, good. Then you're solid.
Yeah, but is it because both of them have purple hair? Is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why they paired these two up.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of the pairings make sense, like
Raphael and
Ignace.
Ignatz.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking
How's your Raphael? Is he just a punch boy?
Oh no, he's a knight with punch with fist. Is the greatest. He's had like
so he's like fully armored, but with the punching.
Yeah.
My guy's just a brawler grappler.
Well, the thing is, like the brawler outfits, they look like they're missing some clothing.
Yeah.
For Raphael, it makes sense. I mean, he barely has a shirt in the real life.
I wanted to try out those classes because the gauntlets were like a new weapon and something I hadn't experienced before.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the one that I made completely different, Ignace, he's an absolute unit in my game.
Yeah.
He is. I made him a brawler, so he started going that way. But then it's like, no, I want him to wear the biggest piece of armor that he can find around. So I'm working for his like heavy armor masterclass right now. I'm not there yet. I'm only in the intermediate, so he's only a knight. So he's like.
So you're gonna have both Raphael and Ignatz.
Oh yeah.
Being big armored knights.
Oh yeah, I mean it's perfect. They have an interesting relationship among each other.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of makes sense, but I didn't do it because of that. I mainly did it because I wanted to have somebody that was really different to what they were given to.
Yeah.
See how that worked.
I made my Ignatz a mage, which isn't really their starting thing either.
True. And
I just thought they look very mage-like, but they're okay, but no one can compare to Lycidia. She's just absurd. She's just the delete button.
She has so many spells at such early game. Like she's amazing. In terms of pairing up, I know this is a lot of people consider Fire Emblem the waifu simulator. Have you found anybody that you wanted to have as?
I'm more thinking about how I'm gonna pair up my other units for the end game, because how it works from what I've read is basically so in previous games usually whichever two units get like the final support together will get a paired ending together. And the ending will be like them both, it will include them both doing something together.
You know, that's such a nice piece at the end, but why do you have to put it at the end? Now I have to play the entire game if I want to see something else, or go on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but the way, so like previously it would be like, okay, I want this unit to get paired with this unit, so I'll do their S support or whatever. That's how Fates and Awakening worked.
But some of them don't have S support.
But yeah, because the only person who can S support in this game is you. Okay. So what that means is the way that this game works is you can get multiple A supports with every character.
Okay.
But you can still gain like support points even after that. Okay. And at the end of the game, it tries to pair everyone up based on who their highest support is with. And the only way you can check that is if you go onto like their bio page, it'll list like, oh, these are their top 3 allies. And you have to make sure that the person you want to pair them with is at the top.
At the top? Okay, so I'm doing good with my avatars. Petra #1.
Yeah. Yeah, with the Avatar, you can kind of get around it because they have their S support, which just overrides everything, basically.
And you can only have one S support, right?
Yeah. So with them, they get to pick. I'm not sure who I'm going to pair my guy with yet. Okay. They might just get the leftovers because I have... From a story perspective, none of their pairings are all that interesting to me.
Yeah, in a way. In my head, Petra and my Avatar are like amazing. Yeah. All right. So, is there anything else?
I just wanted to briefly get your impressions on monsters.
Oh, right, monsters. We forgot to talk about those.
Yeah, well, we didn't talk about them last time because you hadn't fought any.
True. Okay, you don't have to like do me like that, okay? Like I'm trying my best. 22 hours is a lot of time commitment.
But yeah, how they used to do these like monsters was they'd basically just be normal units, like one by one. Mm-hmm. They'd have some special monster weapon, but they'd just kind of be big HP sponges.
Okay.
So
there are 4x4 in this game.
Yeah. 2x2.
2x2. Yeah. I mean, they cover 4 squares. I'm being dumb. Yeah. But they also have this shield mechanic. Like if you break one of the shields, the barriers, it actually stuns him for one attack, not one turn. I made the mistake of thinking that they were going to be stunned for their turn.
It is one turn. It's the turn that you stun them on. They're stunned for the rest of that turn, and they're able to attack.
But like if it, I'm just meaning like if the phase shift from the player to the enemy, he's not gonna be stunned.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, I made a mistake and I made a big yikers.
Yeah.
But after that, I think overall they're kind of easy to go around if you focus on them.
Yep.
Because
and that's why I like that. After the first one, they don't really just throw them at you one at a time anymore. They'll always be accompanied by other units, so there will be more than one.
Yeah. Well, I just finished one of the prologue missions, and it was essentially half your team starts in the upper left area, half your team in the upper right area. In the middle, there's like a castle thing where the main enemy is, and there's a bunch of villagers running in the bottom from one of the monsters. So,
that's the Raphael Ignatz one.
Yeah, exactly. And that one also has like a monster in the middle in between all the units that are protecting the main guy, so that was a bit tricky.
But I like that you kind of have to approach them a bit differently than normal units, and they add a little extra.
And they're strong.
Yeah.
Like if you get hit by them, they can definitely wipe one of your units out.
They're actually threatening, as opposed to a lot of monsters in previous games, which were not really any worse than normal units.
Oh yeah. But like I said, with the gambit mechanic, as long as you save your gambits...
Yeah, I did find out that gambits kind of crush them.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you focus on them, they can be quite easy. If they're in between other units, you kind of have to make a choice whether you want to attack them or the other units. So it actually mixes it up a bit, but it's not a hard thing.
Have you done any of the maps that are just monsters?
Yeah, I did one where the professor went out on its own.
Okay.
To an area, and then all the monsters kind of attacked him.
Yeah, I had a Fog of War that was all monsters, that was... That was nice. I had to use the Divine Pulse a few times there when a monster just came out of the fog and sniped one of my units.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not necessarily the fog area. I don't like when there is like reinforcements coming because you don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah. Oh, I had a real bad one on actually it was the Petra Paralog. Oh, really? I had 2 units off on their own in a forest, and then suddenly reinforcements just came in these 3 different spots. My 2 units were completely surrounded by like 6 other units. I had to rewind like 3 turns, otherwise Lawrence was gonna die for sure.
Lawrence. I don't know how to feel about Chivo. I don't know. After the prologue...
Did you do his paralog?
No, I haven't done his. I did.
Oh, you bet it. You get a great item from that.
Okay. I don't think I haven't gotten it yet, like from the mission.
Oh,
area.
Really?
Yeah, it's...
I thought it was the first one I got, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, I forget which one was the first one I did. I think it was a professor one, actually.
Yeah, I think that was an early one.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think is that everything that you wanted to say about that?
Yeah, I think that about covers it for Three Houses.